Hi guys, we are back on Instagram. If any of you were with us now, hi guys, hi Nina, thanks for joining. Just give you a wave. Hi, this all of you coming on here now. Thanks guys. I just literally still saying goodbye on the live we had on Facebook now with Dr. Suleiman Halen. It's always such a good one, good talk with Dr. Suleiman, and I had to rush him to finish that so we could be back on here and do the Real Women Real Talk. Hi Shireen, thanks for being back here. Zilke, Visachi, everyone that's joining us. Welcome everybody. Yeah, so we are going to have we've got Therese Bam, and she's going to give us her Real Women Real Stories. Teresa, she's an actress, South African actress, and we're just going to wait for Teresa to send an invite. Teresa, you can actually just hi Teresa, you can actually just send us a little request to join, and then I will accept you. So we just had a winner, just in case, was Fika. If you didn't see back on the Facebook page, you've just won a month's supply of Insamax Q. And then I've got it from Teresa. Excited to have her. There we go. So, guys, stay here. There's prizes at the end of every talk. Go there. Accept. Hey, Teresa.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi. I can hear you perfectly clear. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure, absolute pleasure. I was just saying I'm rushing between the one and the other. I'm actually still just uploading on that side to
You have a
Facebook, and
lot
I'm
on your
like,
plate today.
I had to tell Dr. Suleiman, like, please, I need to go now. So you've got to finish your talk so I can
I
come
was
here.
listening. That was really interesting.
Yeah, he's an absolute great speaker, and is always a he's got so much wisdom from that
Yeah,
doctor. I love him.
yeah.
So we're here now, and I've got a lot of people joining. Thanks, guys, for joining.
Oh,
We're going to hear
wonderful.
Teresa's talk. So we normally do Real Women, Real Stories on our normal Instagram during the year
Mm,
on a Wednesday, like once a month. And I can't wait to hear your story of how you dealt with infertility and what
yeah.
happened, where you're at the moment. Because I know you're actually going to do another treatment, or you're busy with that at the moment.
Yeah.
So please introduce yourself, and then please tell us more about you and your story.
Okay. I'm going to tell you a bit, and then if you have questions, please fire away. I've always wanted to have kids. I mean, that was my biggest dream. I had a career and I aspired to be an actress and I'd do whatever. But the one thing that always drove me, which I, in retrospect, realized, I always had this dream that when I'm a mom, or when I have kids, so that was the thing that drove me in my life. And I went through a bunch of relationships that didn't work out and met my husband when I was 38. Um, we only got married when I was 40, but I thought it was fine. My sister is a
Yeah.
bit older than me, and she successfully conceived and had kids at, I think, 42 and 44. So I thought,
Wow.
it's in the genes. I'm not going to struggle. So obviously,
Yeah.
very happily married and immediately said, right, we're going to start a family.
Yeah.
And started trying, and it didn't work, and it didn't work. And about 6 months in, my gynae said, just go and see a specialist.
Yeah.
And we saw a specialist, and I was completely bowled away. We saw Dr. Darby Slubber to start with, when he said to me, we have to do IVF, and not just IVF, we have to do ICSI. I knew
Uh,
nothing about this. I thought there's a quick fix. You go on a quick pill or you do a quick IUI and you fall pregnant. That's how it
yeah.
works. I was used to achieving things. I was used to getting things. Did a sperm analysis, which is very important as well, because both people have to be diagnosed and analyzed. And we had some motility and mobility problems with sperm as well. And we went for our first treatment. And I thought, what are the chances? The odds were like 20%, 25%, whatever they were. First treatment didn't work. And I was devastated. I thought, okay, all right, normally the odds are in my favor. We'll try
Yeah.
again, pick myself up, tried again and got very few eggs. I think the first time we got about 7 eggs, and we never had enough embryos to freeze.
Yeah.
Did the second treatment, transferred 2 embryos, didn't work. And I was just flattened. First of all, the cost. I mean, you don't
Yeah.
expect the cost, it's astronomical. And the absolute guilt that you carry about that cost, because I am in the entertainment industry, I don't earn a lot of money. So, of course, I
Yeah.
had to lean on my husband to cover that cost. And that to me was a very big thing. And I thought, just emotionally, I couldn't cope. I was working full time
Yeah.
at that time. So I was kind of in between treatments and being given the odd day off, but you've got to go back to the office. And I remember literally sitting in the car waiting for, the 10-day wait, and you wait for that
Oh,
phone call to say, was your blood test positive or not? And you get the no, and you sit in the car and you cry your heart out and your dreams are shattered, and you've got to pick yourself up and go back to the office. And then I decided that's it. I'm done. Look,
yeah.
originally I said, I'm not going to interfere. We're going to try and have a family. And if it doesn't work, that's just how it is. But this absolute drive I had to be a mom was so strong. But
Yeah.
after that, I thought I can't. And I was kind of, weighing the pros and the cons. And I was stuck in a no man's land where I was thinking, I don't know if I can go through this again, because the emotional toll is huge. It is huge. What your body goes through, you don't expect. Your body changes. Um, your personality changes. It really does. I don't mean to scare people off, but the way you look
No,
at the world, the
that's
way you feel,
absolutely true.
it changes you.
Absolutely
Your
true.
sex life changes. I'm going to be honest, because there's no
Yeah.
spontaneity left. When you suddenly go
Yeah.
from, you're spontaneous, you're in love, you're a newlywed, where you're suddenly going, I'm ovulating. It's like everybody
Yeah.
starts feeling like a machine, and it just doesn't work. It takes the romance away. So we decided to take a bit of a break until we were ready again, and the clock ticked over and ticked over for more than a year. And my mom fell very ill and passed away, and that kind of shook me. And I just went, "What am I doing? Why am I waiting? I want to do this. I
Yeah.
want to have a family." And my husband said, "Well, let's try again." We went to see. We moved. We were closer to the southern suburbs, so we went to Avita's clinic and saw Dr. Hume. And he then said, right, let's try again. But then I had already turned 42. So
Yeah.
when you're 40, already they make you feel like you're 80. When you're 42, you feel like
Yeah.
you're 90. You are just
Yeah.
like, you are in fertility years, you are geriatric. And
Yes.
the stats you get, they floor you. Where you
Yeah.
had maybe 20% or whatever, now you're down to 10%. And we decided, okay, we're going to try. Because to me, I always thought, I'll try this. And then if it doesn't work, we'll accept that. And, there are many kids out there needing a home. Maybe we'll see if adoption's on the cards for us or whatever. And we tried for a third time. I think I got 3 eggs. And there was one embryo that was not a very high grade embryo. We decided to transfer because, you
Okay.
I,
Oh, can you there? Sorry, I think there's a bit of a connection has gone down a bit. Teresa.
yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay.
I
I
can
think, are
see
you
you
there?
clearly.
Okay,
Yes, I'm
perfect.
here.
Perfect.
There,
Sorry,
there.
could be me.
So the third try didn't work, and we were then advised to use an egg donor. And to
Yeah.
me, that was like, I thought, the reality of it. I didn't really know what it entailed. I was completely floored, and we had to go away and think about it for a long time. I was so shattered. You always envision your child and you think, oh, will they have my
Yeah.
smile? Will they have this? Will they have that? And then to suddenly have to deal with the reality that that is removed from the equation. And then you have to think about how important that is, why it's important. You have to do a lot of soul searching. And I worked with a wonderful therapist, Leanne van der Westhuizen, and she really guided me and helped me. I listened to a lot of podcasts, and we made the decision to use an egg donor and went through numerous donor agencies. And this, I mean, to anybody who's ever tried, to choose the genetics of your child, the responsibility is huge. I mean, look, when you just try and conceive, you don't think too much about what's wacky in your
Yeah.
family and
Yeah.
what's not wacky, who's a little bit off. you just conceive, because you love somebody and you want to
Yeah.
create a child. But all of a sudden, you look at it completely differently, and you're looking at these
Yeah.
strangers and analyzing, and you don't see much. All you see when you do, for those who don't know, when you do look at profiles on egg donor websites, is you see a childhood photo or two of this person. You're not allowed to see
Yeah.
adult photographs. You don't know what they look like. It's anonymous
Yeah.
in South Africa by law, as far as I
Yes.
understand. Um,
Yes.
so you look at this whole situation, and I was overwhelmed. I didn't know what to do. I looked at different agencies, and then eventually we worked with Nurture Egg Donor Agency, and Kim was wonderful. It was still COVID. I couldn't meet them face to face because I just wanted to have a
Oh,
coffee and have a conversation. We did a Zoom
yeah.
chat, and she said, look, send me some information on yourself. I wrote an essay, and I sent photographs of myself as a child and the whole thing, what was important to us. Because now you also decide. We live in quite a shallow world, don't we? Where
Yes.
and do you look for the tallest, most attractive person you can find, or do you look for somebody?
Yeah.
What is hereditary? How important is intelligence or education or sporting ability? Do you want a super
Yeah.
performer in sport when you're not a sporting family? All those things you have to consider. And they were great. They compiled a shortlist, which actually only consisted of one person. And we had to look at this and think about it. And then the process is that this donor also has to approve you as a couple. You say,
Wow.
and then you've got that agony. The thing with IVF is the waiting. The whole process,
Yeah.
the whole time is about waiting. You wait for results, you wait for this, you wait for a cycle. So this was the same. And thank heavens our donor approved us. And we went through
Yeah.
egg retrieval with her. It was wonderful. Geez, the difference between young eggs and old eggs. I mean, I think she had 27 eggs, follicles, mature
Wow.
follicles. I was bowled over, and we had a couple that fertilized, and then we had 10 embryos, which was, I
Wow.
mean, I was astounded. Fresh
Yeah.
transfer didn't work, and then already I was like, okay, now all my hopes and dreams are banked on this, and it hasn't worked.
Yeah.
But thank heavens, our second transfer, frozen transfer, worked, and we had our son, Jack, who's now 14 and a half months old, who is just the joy and the light of my life and everything I always thought. All my fears have been allayed of having a donor conceived child. You have these fears, and I think it's have these, how will this child look at me? But anyway, we worked through all of that, and now we are trying for a second child. We've got the same
Awesome.
donor embryos, but it's not going too well. We've had 3 failed transfers, and I'm currently on my 4th. Literally had a transfer on Monday, and on advice of the doctors, we did a double transfer, which I've always said again I won't do because
Yeah.
I don't want twins.
Yeah.
But it was deemed to be our best shot. And here
Okay.
I am. Where are
Wow.
we now? Second day after, I'm so high on hormones. I think it's the second day after transfer. And
Yeah.
now we wait again. Now we've got our 10-day
Wow.
wait to do our test, and everything crossed because I so badly want to have a sibling for my child. I don't want him
Yeah.
to grow up alone, but I also want somebody who has the exact same genetic blueprint, if I can
Genetic.
call it that, as
Yeah.
him. So, in short, that is our story.
Wow, Teresa, that's an amazing story. And I'm so glad it worked out and you've got your son. And I'm gonna keep all fingers, toes, and everything crossed that I can, um, that your that this transfer has been successful. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Sorry, I've got.
Okay. I I think Teresa has people, sorry, is people calling you or messaging you or something, so it goes, your
It's
sound goes
calling
off
me.
every time.
It's calling me. I'm sorry. I apologize. I apologize. Let me put on a do not
No worries,
disturb and
no
see
worries.
if that works.
It happened to it happened to me earlier as well, no problem.
I'm sorry.
So
I'm
we're
sorry.
just saying that we just hope for everything of the best for you. I'll keep you in my prayers. And
Thank
I
you.
hope I get a message or email or something in a few days' time to say, yeah, everyone's wishing you baby dust here. Thanks, Islin, for wishing
Oh,
a baby
thank you,
dust.
thank
And
you, thank you, thank you,
yeah,
thank
lots and
you,
lots of baby dust to you. And we know
thank
that
you.
it will. You will have your baby will have a sibling, and you will have your new baby soon.
We hope
So all of
so,
the best.
Leanne,
And
because it's
thank you
thank
so
you.
much for joining us and sharing your story, because we tell these stories because we want to inspire other women.
Yes,
Um, and there are so many women out there that is going through this. And I always say, when I was going through everything, there was no one to speak to. You didn't hear about it. You couldn't speak about it. It was like a
listen,
taboo
no.
subject.
You know, and there's a
And
lot of cultural differences in South Africa. A lot
yes,
of cultures look at it differently, and people have massive struggles that we can't imagine. Can I quickly mention one thing? Because I also
yes, please.
found such a lack of support, you know, of women
Absolutely.
in our community, especially with donor conception, who could support each other and speak about it, because it's very involved, it's very complex. So I started a
Yeah,
WhatsApp group. We're still very small, but I'd love for it to grow. So if there are any
yeah.
people out there considering donor conception, or who are recipient parents, on my Facebook page, which is at Therese Bam Actress, in the bio, there's a link to this WhatsApp group. Please join us if you want. Let's have free and open conversations, share resources, because it's the
Awesome.
only way. You know, it was a difficult decision for us to share something so private and to share our son's life, which isn't really our choice to do. But I also want to
Yeah,
normalize this, so in future, when, you know, it's not a surprise that he's donor conceived, but it's a completely normal part of his story. And we have to have
yeah.
these conversations. So please go and have a look and join us if you're wanting to, or if you've been advised to use a donor and you're uncertain.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And on that note, we actually have a support group starting next month, or maybe in the middle of, sorry, I think it's this
Wow,
month, third week. And it's, like I said, it's free of charge. And we just want women to start
wonderful.
talking about it and get support from each other. It will be held at one of the clinics in Cape Town. So at the moment,
Wow.
of course, I can only do Cape Town. But I hope that whoever wants to join, please WhatsApp me. And everyone's
That
saying
sounds
thank you
great.
for
Thanks,
sharing your
Shireen.
story.
Thank you,
So
everybody. I'm so
thanks
glad
very
you tuned
much.
in. Okay. Thank you
Thanks
for the
very much, guys.
opportunity, Leanne, and for the
It's
work
a
that you
pleasure,
do.
Shiri. Thank you
Okay.
very much. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.